What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Bass Fishing Live is here. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm going to give everybody time to get in here, time to get kind of comfy, and we're going to bring Adam. I hope I say this right. I just talked to him, and I should have asked before we even started the show. I think it's Rasmussen, but I'm going to ask when he gets on here. But thanks for joining us tonight. I'm going to get this thing shared. We're going to bring him on. Talk to him for a little bit, and then talk about a couple other things that's going on. The Elite Series just kicked off on Lake Fork. We're going to talk about, obviously, the upcoming Classic with Adam, and we're just going to get into all kinds of things. There's been a lot of tournaments going on. The weights at the Elite Series was crazy today. I mean, it was absolutely insane. So just bear with me. I'm going to get this thing shared, get it going, and we'll dig right into it and get Adam on here. So if you're just joining us, in the comment section, put where you're watching. We love to know where people are watching from, whether it's Kentucky. That's where I'm out of. I'm in Western Kentucky. Whether you're watching from Indiana, I don't care where it's from. Just in the comment section, make sure you put where you're watching from and let us know. We're definitely interested in where people are watching from. And yeah, we'll get this thing kicked off. I'm just getting it shared real quick. It'll take me just a second. Just bear with me. I've almost got it here. Oh, look, we've got currently 8 people watching. I know you all heard me say, where are you watching from? So let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching, let me know. I want to hear where you're watching from, or want to see where you're watching from. Let's got to do one more thing real quick. All right. Looks like we got 8 people currently. What's this one called? So tonight we're having Adam Rasmussen on. Again, I'm going to clarify and make sure. I've got it here. I'm going to bring him on now. I've got it shared to a couple of groups. Paintsville, Kentucky, Spotsville, Kentucky is what that says. This one, tonight we're having Adam on. I'm going to bring him on now. Bring him up to the stage. Adam, am I saying your name right?
You're close. It's Rasmussen.
Rasmussen. Okay, so Adam Rasmussen. Yep. Thanks for joining us tonight, man. We really appreciate you coming on the show. I know last year we tried to get together a couple times and things just didn't kind of work out. So thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, it's a little dark. I'm just hanging out my truck at a dirty truck stop right now, traveling to South Carolina.
Well, that's part of it, man. You know, every time we talk to whoever it is, whatever angler it is, usually either they're traveling, they just got done traveling, or they're fixing to travel to some tournament that they're about to fish. So we completely understand. We get it. So before we get into everything, I just kind of introduce yourself to everybody and where you're from, you know, what series you're on and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I live up in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, right on the waters of Lake Michigan, and run a full-time guide service up there for bass, walleyes, and also run a charter service for salmon and trout. And as if that wasn't enough to do, I started fishing the Bassmaster Opens a couple years ago. And we're going to fish them until we make the Elite Series. So,
heck yeah. Heck yeah. Now, in Wisconsin, what did you say your home lake was?
Sturgeon Bay. It's Green Bay, Lake Michigan.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha.
So we've got all.
I remember reading that. I seen somewhere that you had a guide service, salmon and trout. Is that what you just said there? Right? Salmon and trout is what you do it for?
Salmon, trout, walleyes, bass.
Dude, I bet that is so much fun. So much.
Yeah,
fun.
it's that's the cool thing about Sturgeon Bay. You can go out of town and go to the west and go catch bass and walleyes, or you can hang a right and go east and get out on Lake Michigan and catch salmon and trout. You can do it all out of one boat landing.
That's awesome. That is awesome. You know, I remember watching. I don't know if you're familiar with the Hunting Public or not.
Yeah.
Big YouTube page. You know, once deer season and everything kind of quietened down, they did a trip up to Wisconsin. I don't remember what lakes it was, but I remember watching them doing a spearfishing trip for sturgeon.
And Lake Winnebago.
Yeah, I do. That is on the top of my list to do. I would love one. I've had caviar one time, so I would really like to have just a whole thing in my house of caviar. I think that'd be awesome. But dude, have you ever done that? Have you ever spearfished for sturgeon?
I never have. It's just one of those things I just never had time to do. But I know a lot of guys that do it, and it's a deal on the Winnebago system. Like however long the season is, it depends on how many they get. They get to a quota and then they cut it off. But
Right.
it's a party down there
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
what I was about to say. It's like a festival that goes on. Like there's a I remember like there was an older lady in the video once they I guess tagged their sturgeon. They would bring it to like where the festival was at, and she would do all the work to get everything ready for whoever harvested the sturgeon. I don't know. I thought that was awesome. I really did. I was intrigued. I definitely one day I want to head up north and do it for sure. But I also what we're really here to talk about tonight is I want to go up north and smallmouth bass fish because dude, I love smallmouth fishing. I love
Yeah, we've got a pretty good bass population by us.
it.
Get you get spoiled.
Right. Oh yeah, I can imagine, man. It's like I was telling you earlier, my buddy Jackson, he came down here and fished for a while and then he went back up to Wisconsin and he was like, dude, I hate Western Kentucky. I hate it. It's just so much better up here up north. So I actually seen that he was fishing. I don't know if it was on the Mississippi River or where it was at, but uh, he said that the lakes unthawed, I guess, a little bit early, and he got to go out and fish a little bit, and he was super excited about that, just getting to go out and fish before, I guess, the hot time of the season gets started.
Yeah, it's been kind of a crazy winter for us. I run an ice fishing business as well,
Oh, cool,
and
awesome.
this is 2 years in a row that we haven't had enough ice to take people out on in Sturgeon Bay, and I was in a boat on Monday. I went walleye fishing. I mean, it's February and we're
You catch
we're
a
out in
catch a lot of
boats.
muskie as well.
Yeah, musky fishing. I don't do as much of it as I used to, but we've got. I mean, everything swims in the bay: giant
Right.
perch, pike, muskies, bass, walleyes.
Yeah, yeah. We have a lake here in Kentucky. It's out in eastern Kentucky that's got a decent population of a muskie, and then there's a I can't remember exactly where it's at. If anybody is here and watching from eastern Kentucky, what is the lake that that has some muskie in it? I know it's like northeastern Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken, but uh, it's nothing like up north. Not even
Yeah,
like I think there's been some big ones caught. Cave Run, that's it. Thank you. Whoever just said that, please. If you're watching from our group tonight, if you're in the Kentucky Outdoors Facebook group, it's not going to actually show your name. It's just going to say Facebook user. So if you could, out by your comments, just put your name and where you're watching from. But thank you for that. And also, if you have any questions for Adam as we go through the show tonight, please post them and let us know, and we'll get to them for sure. Um, but anyways, getting moving on from up north and everything. I know you're traveling right now, heading to Santee Cooper. So again, we appreciate you taking time to join us tonight. Let's kind of talk about a little bit about just the um, a lot of people think these pro anglers and just anglers in general that fish these tours and the opens and everything that they just go fish, they win money, and they go home. How difficult is it traveling and then getting to fit, having to practice and prepare and fish and everything? Kind of walk us through that a little bit, what that's like.
yeah. It's it's not as glorious as most people think. There's so much preparation and travel. So like I left the last open at Ouachita 12 days ago, went home. I spent every day in the shop preparing for Santee Cooper Classic because I'm not going home in between those.
Right.
And it seems like, all winter, like we got done in October and started at the end of January. And I felt like I wasn't even ready. And like
Right.
I spent so much time working on tackle and gear and just making sure the boat is ready, all that stuff. It's
Oh yeah.
and then you throw the driving into it.
Right.
And, I'm married, I have a family at home, so
Yeah.
I don't get to just go down south and hang out and kill time until the next tournament. I got to drive home. So you end up putting,
Right. Yeah.
you know,
I can imagine that, because you're driving from Wisconsin to the East Coast, back to the central, well, Midwest, I guess, Oklahoma, to fish
yeah,
again. Dude, I had a hard time getting here on time, just having to get my wife and kid to Walmart and back. You know, like, dude, that's a lot. It's a lot. It really is.
yeah. I mean, you're putting 40 to 50,000 miles a year on a truck, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of work. But if you're dedicated and you love the sport, you know, it's worth it. It pays out in the end.
Oh yeah, for sure. So if you could see here, Facebook user said missed everybody Tuesday. Just wanted to jump on here and say, hey, we also have a Tuesday night show. It's called Eastern Outdoors Media Tuesday Night Live. Thanks for joining us tonight. If you could just put out beside there what your name is, and let us know where you're watching from. So so Adam, when you're prepping for a tournament, so like you said, you've got two tournaments. I mean, back to back, really close. You can go practice fish, travel to Oklahoma for the Classic, and we'll get into that one as well. Um, before you even get there, what's prep look like for you? Are you? I know a lot of guys say YouTube videos. They even Google Earth and stuff like that. How are you kind of prepping when you're going to a new place or a new tournament, I guess, or an event?
You know, like we're not allowed to get information, but anything that's out there on the internet, we can use.
Yeah.
So I'll watch some video. A lot of these lakes I've never been to before.
Right.
So I'll watch some YouTube videos and stuff and kind of get an idea what the lake, how it's laid out, how guys catch them around there. Map study, not so much. I'll do
Yeah.
a little bit of Google Earth. I'm more of a put the boat in the water, spend one day driving around the lake and get an idea of what it all looks like. And
Right.
then I kind of pick the area that I like, that I feel more comfortable fishing in, and then I try to dial in that part of lake, you know, as practice goes on.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of tackle prep. Just, you know, sometimes it's hard to get stuff, so I carry a lot of extra stuff with me.
Right.
Just trying to organize what I think I'm going to use during that week or 2 weeks or whatever it may be, and get all that stuff organized in the truck, get the boat organized, make sure that everything is tight on my boat. You know, I'm not going to have any, you don't want to have any mechanical failures or anything like that. Anything that you can prevent from ruining a tournament, you want to make sure all that stuff is right before you leave.
You know, talking about extra tackle, I don't remember what angler it was. It might have been Kyle Welcher, and this was years ago. But I swear I remember seeing a video, and he was prepping. I think he just finished a tournament, was prepping for the next one, and he basically had like the not a live well that's already like installed in the boat, but kind of like an aftermarket live well. It was huge, massive, in the back of his truck, huge, and he had all of his soft plastics in there, all of it. And I was like, man, that is a lot of tackle. So that's a good point too. It's I bet you have to take a lot as just in case.
Yeah, it's you know, overnight shipping and tackle warehouse is great, but
Right.
if you get on something on Saturday or Sunday, you can't order it till Monday. It doesn't show up till Tuesday or Wednesday. Tournaments start on Thursday, so you're best off making sure you have it in the truck and have enough to get through the week.
Right. Moons Fishing family, thanks for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. You're actually in the live chat right now. I said you said we didn't have a live chat, but what you're typing right there and commenting in, that is our live chat. So when you chat in there, we will be able to see your questions. So please, any questions you got, bring forward, and we'll definitely ask Adam any questions you got. So let's kind of step back a little bit. Back to last year. So you qualified for the Classic. You're gonna be heading out to Oklahoma shortly. What, 2 weeks? Is it 2 weeks roughly? 3 weeks? I can get it pulled up here. Let's see.
Practice starts in 3 weeks, I think.
Let's see here. So yeah, March 22nd is the first day of the tournament. So you all get there while you practice the week before, and then you.
We get 3 days the week before.
Right. Okay, so you're getting, just qualifying for that. I can, and I was telling you earlier, me and John, and for everybody watching, John is my brother. He runs Eastern Outdoors Media. He's usually on here with us, but he's got a new job, and it is a little taxing. He's getting used to it and everything, so he's got a lot going on. But me and him went down to the Classic last year in Knoxville, and then we went to South Carolina to Lake Hartwell, and just seeing the Classic in person. He was backstage with the anglers as they would come up before weigh-ins. He would talk to them and see how their day went, to get videos and stuff like that. And I was the one enjoying it, really. I was like right there at the stage, watching them come in, weigh in, do everything, and it was awesome, man. It really. When people say it's a Super Bowl of fishing, it is the Super Bowl of fishing. Like it's awesome. So just in saying all that, with the Open last year on, was it Wheeler Lake?
Yep.
Wheeler Lake. How was that whole experience of just not really prepping, but fishing, and just how was it just knowing like, man, I'm going to the Classic. This is happening.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even think it's sunk in yet because, you get done with that one and you're getting ready for the next one right away, which is good. Like, I do better when I don't have any pressure on myself. I honestly haven't even, I went to Grand, I pre-practiced for 2 days. Obviously, I've thought about it, but it's not like, there's no sense of urgency for it right now. So, which will be good. Be a little more chillaxed when I get there and just go fishing and figure it out. But I've never been to a Classic. I've never attended one. So I'm pretty excited. It's going to be a fun week.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. It's I'm very jealous for sure. I know it's took. When was your first? I've got it pulled up here. Let's look at. I think you first started fishing. Was it 2019? Was when you started with the Opens?
2021, I believe.
Oh, was it 2021? Okay, yeah. So you started fishing the Opens in 2021, and then last year, 2023, you get your first. I mean, really, that's pretty quick. Getting an Open win in 2 years, that's quick. And then going to the Classic. What are you with the Classic? What are you looking forward to? I guess the most about the Classic.
Going for the boat ride afterwards with a trophy in my hands, hopefully.
Oh yeah, it's dude, I really wish we was going to be out there because from day 1 to day 3 or day 4 or whatever it is. I think it's a 3-day tournament. I think.
Yeah, 3 days.
3 days. Dude, it's exciting the whole time. The whole time.
It's it's gonna be. I think the coolest part of the whole thing will be the first morning when we take off.
Yeah.
And you're looking at, the best guys in the industry.
Right.
Some of the best in the world.
Right. Yeah.
I think I take off right behind Jason Christie, which obviously he's going to be the local hero there. So it's it'll probably be pretty intimidating in the morning. So
just getting kicked off, and yeah, it's dude, I know you when you get there. I can only imagine being an angler in it because it's just so much excitement, and then probably a lot of pressure because you want to do well and everything, and you're behind Jason Christie and everything. But you're gonna love it, man. You're gonna absolutely love it. I really wish we was gonna be down there this year and able to come to it, but just work and stuff. It didn't allow us to come out to Oklahoma this year, but. So with the Classic, have you been doing any prepping specifically for? I know you got it. Well, let's talk about the tournament coming up. So you got Santee Cooper. What have you been kind of prepping? What do you think is going to be kind of the juice? I guess. And I know you don't want to give away too many secrets because the tournament's coming up soon. But what do you think is going to happen out there? What's your plan?
Like a lot of these lakes, I've never been to them. Just looking at the weather, the first couple days of practice look a little cooler, but then we're supposed to have some warmer nights, and it is that time of year. So I think there'll be some fish moving up shallow.
Yeah.
starting to spawn, and then I would bet that there's still a bunch of fish offshore somewhere, and that's probably what I'm going to try and focus on.
Yeah.
I'd much rather fish offshore. As dumb as this sounds, I've caught one largemouth in my life off a bed, so not that's not in my wheelhouse, catching or spawning and looking at them. Obviously, I'll mess around with it during practice if that's the
Right.
deal. But yeah, I'm gonna go look offshore a little bit and see. I know there's a lot of brush piles in the lake.
Right.
See
Even I
what
mean,
we.
coming from up north, you know, I mean, you're used to smallmouth, and like we were talking earlier, for anybody that's been fishing long enough to hear that you've only caught one off of a bed isn't. I mean, honestly, that's not a. I wouldn't say it's a surprise because you're used to fishing up north, and then you come down here, and most of the tournaments probably aren't during the bedding time, are they? That you fished?
Not too many. I think last year at Eufala there were a bunch of big ones on beds, and then the water dropped a little bit, and those fish all pulled off. And I was really the only one that I thought bed fishing would really come into play, and it turned out it didn't. So
Right. Yeah. Hey, if you're just joining us, let us know where you're watching from. I know I've already said it a couple of times, but as new people kind of join, I want to make sure that we're engaging with the audience. Moon fishing family. No worries, man. It can be confusing. I still get confused on this thing, and I do it every week. So no worries. But if you're just joining us, let us know where you're watching from. Let us know what your home lake is as well. Let us know where you're fishing at. So moving on to, well, kind of let's talk about what you were talking about with what tournament was it? You were saying that you thought it was going to be it could be bed fishing, but it could be offshore. It could kind of be both. Are you more of an offshore fisherman?
yeah, if I can catch them offshore and go out and graph with my hummingbirds, I would much rather do that. And then
That's another thing, and we won't dig into it too much, but dude, forward facing sonar is taking a beating right now. It really is. It's like every post I make, or and I'm not against it whatsoever. I think forward facing sonar, if you want to use it, use it. If you don't, you don't. I think it's part of the game now, and guys like you that are making a living off of fishing, you got to do what's going to be the best for you and what's most efficient. So when you're offshore fishing, what's your setup as in electronics wise? What are you running?
this year I have all Humminbird Apexes on my boat, so I have 216s up on the bow, and then 360
Yep.
and Mega Live.
Gotcha. How much do you think it do you utilize it? Do you use a lot of the lot whenever you're offshore fishing?
Yeah, I would say, if they're suspended, obviously forward facing sonar is the deal. But a lot of the times when those fish are tight to the bottom, you won't even see them on forward facing sonar.
Right.
So then I utilize my 360 a lot.
Okay.
That's actually how I won Lake Eufala. And even the guys with Garmin's are like, nope, I couldn't see them on the bottom. They're so tight to the bottom because that water was so cold.
Right. Yeah.
You couldn't see them on forward facing. So I could actually see them on my 360 sitting on the bottom. So I knew right where to cast.
Wow. Okay. I think you. I don't know if it was an article or what it was. I don't know if it was you that said that or someone else had said it was very similar. Like they were like, look, everybody's talking about forward facing sonar, but I couldn't even see the fish with forward facing. They were so tight to the bottom that it didn't help. So let's we kind of skipped over that. You just won a Bass Nation tournament at Lake Eufala. Obviously, graphs, the forward facing didn't play a huge factor as you were saying, but kind of just walk us through was it a 2-day event?
3 days, 2 days, and then the top 20 cut.
Right. Yeah. So 3 days. Kind of walk us through how day one went, and then we'll kind of work up to day three. How was day one at Lake Eufala?
Not bad. I guess just to start at the beginning, I was I had a week to kill before I went to Lake Ouachita. I didn't want to drive all the way home, just turn around, drive back down south. So they had the Bass Nation at Eufala. I'm like, heck, I might as well go fish that.
Right.
And the top 20 go to the nationals. So me and a couple buddies went up there, got in that tournament. I had the first day I got there, it was pouring rain. I fished for like 2 hours, and I'm like, that's enough of this. So I really only practiced for a day and a half, and I didn't make a lot of casts. I spent all my time offshore. You know, it was cold. The water's cold. They're
Right.
pre-spawn. So I spent all my time offshore graphing, marking hard bottom spots, shell bars, brush piles, road beds, everything that I thought they could set up on. And so I had no idea that I didn't know if I was going to catch 8 pounds, 18 pounds.
Yep.
No clue really. So first day of the morning started, I'd found a school of them offshore that I was catching them cranking. I started on that. I caught 2 little spotted bass. It was like 9:30, and I'm like, this isn't working. So I pulled up into a staging area, and there's a couple hard spots on it, and I think 45 minutes to an hour, I had 19 pounds.
Wow.
So then I left and I went and looked for more stuff. So yeah, I was in second place on day 1. Day 2 rolled around. I went right back to where I caught them. My second cast, I caught a 7.9.
Wow.
And with that fish, I knew that I would make the top 20 and make the nation championship. So I'm like, all right, sweet. Like, we succeeded in what our goal was. And then continued to catch some big ones after that. And I'm like, man, now this is like getting real. I have a chance to win. And I think I weighed in like 25 and a half pounds that day. So then as you would have it, you know, nothing lasts forever. Day 3, I went there. And I kind of feeling that I was going to be out of fish, and I caught one small one, and I bailed on that. I just started running waypoints, hard bottom spots that I had found.
Right.
And it took a few hours, but then I pulled up on one on a shell bar. I caught a 4.5. That was the only one there. And then I don't know, about a half hour later, I pulled up on another shell bar and caught 6 and 6 casts. I looked at my scale. I had 18 and a half pounds, it said. So I knew at that point that I most likely won the tournament.
Right.
And obviously kept fishing all day for some more big ones, but never got bit after that.
So yeah, you ended up 18 and I think this is so day 3, 18 and 13 ounces, 62 pounds, 5 ounces to win the tournament. So, I mean, honestly, I think it's pretty cool that you fished the tournament and it was really time for you to head home. It was like, well, we're already here. So might as well head over. Does that make it kind of sweeter? Like you wasn't even anticipating kind of fishing it and it was like, oh, let's just jump over here and fish. And then next thing you know, you win a tournament by more than 10 pounds.
Yeah, especially that lake really pissed me off last year. It was my worst finish. I took like 126, I think. It was my worst tournament of the whole season.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I'd love to go back there and get some redemption on that lake. And
you sure
we did it.
You definitely did. And you know, with the Bass Nations, you have a co-angler, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is I've never really had a I've never heard anybody really talk about, you know, I've heard co-anglers talk about, you know, different experiences and, you know, they have different boaters and stuff like that. Some good, some bad, some, but most of the time you hear people talk about, you know, just the how much they learn from watching boaters, like guys like you, just being able to, you know, I know Brian New, for instance, he was a co-angler forever, and then all of a sudden he jumps in, wins his first elite event. So what's it kind of like having a co-angler in these Bass Nation events?
You know, it's most co-anglers, they're really good. They understand, like, you brought the boat, you're paying all the expenses, you're paying the higher entry fee.
Right.
Once in a while, you get some guys that think that they should get the first cast on a spot, which is totally wrong.
Right.
But no, I mean, I have fun with them. There's some really cool people I've met along the way because in all the opens we have co's as well. And
Yep.
the guy I fished with the final day, I forget his name, but I still feel bad for him. Obviously, he was leading going into the final day. I was leading, so we got paired together. Super cool dude. Like he's like, I won't cast on anything that you're fishing. You know, play it fair, whatever. I caught those, 6 in a row on that shell bar. As soon as
Right.
I looked at the scale, I knew that I had enough to win the tournament. I told him immediately, he has to stay on the back deck of the boat, but I'm like, dude, cast, aim for that water tower and make that cast. He had one fish at the time. I'm like, get a couple of good ones and get your fish so we can get out of here and head back. And
Right.
I must have been the only 6 up there at the time feeding, whatever.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he didn't get any more, and we tried to the last to get him some more fish, but
Right. Now is that the way? Do they pair on the third day? Do they pair like the first place co-angler with the first place boater, second, third, fourth, and so on? Is that how they do it?
yeah.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. I was not aware of that. So we and I won't hold you up too much longer. I know you're traveling and you got quite a ways to go. We got a question here from WO. WO has been following us for a long time. He's a good buddy of ours, and he's actually um, he's looking at buying a new electronic setup for his boat. So he's asking, how do you think Mega Live stacks up against Garmin Live Scope as far as clarity?
Um, I'll be perfectly honest, like it's not a Garmin, but if you actually sit down and take the time to figure out your settings, like from what I know with a Garmin, you can basically turn it on and just start fishing. You
Right.
don't have to adjust anything. If you take the time to adjust your settings and get everything cleared up, it works just fine. Like I don't have any issues using it.
Yeah.
Um, I've been with Humminbird for a very long time. I've been using Mega Live since day one.
Right.
It's came a lot further with a lot of the newer updates and whatnot, and I'm happy with it. It's a it's an opinion thing. A lot of guys
Right.
will
Yeah.
tell me I'm dumb because I got a Humminbird forward-facing sonar on my boat, and
Yeah.
you can't catch fish because you have that on your boat, and whatever. I won 2
Right.
tournaments,
Right.
and it works just fine. So, and a lot of those guys haven't won one yet, so it is
Right.
what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. I
But
remember a buddy of mine fishing down in Florida. He's actually the one from Wisconsin. He took a trip down to Florida, and a guide took him out, and they had the Mega 360, and he said that he caught like a 9.5 pounder, and he said he seen it show up on it, and he said it was clear as day, as clear as day.
it's
He knew exactly where to throw everything, and he said that he connected with it, and he immediately, if I'm not mistaken, went and bought Mega for his bass boat.
that is, I think, one of the most underutilized tools that you can have on your boat. I have made more money off of Mega 360 than all the other stuff combined.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys, like you see, a lot of guys don't even run it anymore. Now they're just running 2 Garmins on the bow of their boat. But I've used 360 so long and I've spent so many hours staring at it. I can see fish on it. Like, at Eufala, I'm sitting on a hard spot and I'd see little wolf packs of 4 or 5 of them come up on the hard spot.
Right.
Make your cast to them and catch them. But 360 is an awesome tool
Oh yeah,
to
for
have
sure.
in your arsenal on your boat.
For sure.
And it's this whole forward facing sonar thing. It's a tool. It's not the, end all deal. Everybody thinks that, well, he's got forward facing on his boat, he should be able to catch them. Like, you still have to know how to use it, how to make that cast at that fish, you know,
Right.
where you're getting it in front of his face where he can see it and you're not spooking him. There's so many things that go into it. You still have to be a very good angler with it. It's not a, I'm going to slap this on my boat and I'm going to go win every tournament I fish. I mean, ask
Right.
any of the guys out in the Elite Series. Like, you
Yep.
still have to, you have to know how to use it and the times and places to put that to use.
Oh, for sure. For sure. 100%. We've talked, I mean, we've talked to guys in Major League Fishing on here. We've talked to guys on the Elite, on both sides, Bassmaster and Major League Fishing. And it's basically, you know, there's different opinions on it, obviously.
Yep.
But it's the same, it's the same response from pro anglers. It's like, hey man, look, I'm not a huge fan of it, but that's because I'm no good at it most of the time. Or it's, hey man, these guys that are using it, you know, that just because they're catching fish on it doesn't mean that it's not as easy as it looks. Like, everybody thinks that, you know, you get this forward face of the sonar, they pop up on your screen, and it's well, the reference is video game fishing is what a lot of people say, is that they just hop in the boat. That's definitely not what's going on. It's definitely a learned skill for sure. I've seen people use it many times, and they show up on the screen and they're not catching them. You know, it isn't as
Yeah.
easy as everybody thinks it is.
I think the biggest thing with it is it speeds up the process of figuring them out on any given day. Especially like fishing in Wisconsin, like on some of our northern lakes.
Yeah.
You can find out very quick if they're, you know, we have a lot of weedy lakes. You can find out very quick if they're above the weeds or down in them or out off the edge.
Right.
It dials you in a lot faster to where you need to
Kind
be
of able
looking.
to eliminate I guess where they're not, is it kind of
Yeah.
speeds that up. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speeds that up. And then, you know, like if you're pile fishing, you know, depending on what angle you're looking at the brush pile from, a lot of times you won't be able to see them in the brush pile. But I can make my like when I'm casting, every cast is going into productive water. So I'm not wasting time, wasting casts. That's for anything. If I'm just fishing around, I'm casting at stuff that I can see on my Mega Live. I'm getting my bait there. You know, I'm not guessing and wasting, you know, 10 casts and I get one good cast. I'm making every cast count. Even if you can't see them, it's like, all right, there's a stump right there. There should be one on that stump. Maybe he's on the other side of it and I just can't see him.
Right.
I'm going to make the perfect cast to that stump instead of guessing and wasting time. It all comes down to being efficient on the water.
Oh yeah, that's the key word right there, is efficient. It really is. We had Drew Gill on, we had Jake Lawrence on last week, and both of them were like, you know, people get mad, like people really get mad about it on like, as they're called keyboard warriors or whatever. They get mad about it, and it's like, man, you don't understand that these anglers are fishing for their families. I mean, it's literally their job. And what do you want them to do? Take it out of their boat and let everybody else use it? Like, you're going to use it. It's a tool. It's not illegal. It's not banned. It's perfectly fine to use. You know. So, but yeah, I'll kind of get off the topic of it. But I agree with you 100%, man. It's a hot topic right now. It is, and I usually ask everybody about it a little bit and get opinions, but it's always the same thing. Usually, it's efficient. It is. It works, and it helps. You know. So, and everybody's
everybody's on the bandwagon of it all costs too much and
Yep.
blah blah blah. Well, I know a lot of my buddies that haven't bought it that give me the whole cost thing on it.
Yeah.
You know, give up the bar a couple nights a week and save some money for it. It's not, you know, it's not like for God's sakes, we're buying $100,000 bass boats. Like the cost of everything has gone up. That's just the way it is. But there's always ways to make it work. Like if you think it's something that'll help you, do whatever you have to save a little bit of money and put it aside and get it put on your boat. Or if you choose not to fish with it, you don't have to fish with it to win tournaments either.
Yeah.
It's just
I've got a buddy, kind of off topic of that, but it's he would take he fished in college for, I think it was Eastern or Western Kentucky, and he fished with Jordan Lee. He fished against Jordan Lee when he was at Auburn, and he's good buddies with Jordan Lee. But he would take to this day, he fishes like local derbies and stuff, and the money he wins from those tournaments, he puts back for his boat or his rods or reels or everything. So like you're saying, like just put back a little bit here or there. Next thing you know, you've got the money to get it. So it's
absolutely that's the way you have to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we got one more question for you here, and we'll let you go, Adam, so you can get back on the road. Moon's fishing family. Moon, you've commented several times, and I want to just say I appreciate you coming on the show. I hope you become a regular and get here every Thursday. We love having you. But he said, I'm new here, not familiar with Adam, but where did he cut his teeth growing up, and which anglers were his influence? So just to cut it. So Adam did talk earlier. He is from Wisconsin. He grew up there fishing, but what anglers were your influence kind of growing up?
Probably sound kind of dumb, but I grew up as a walleye fisherman. I fished walleye tournaments, and like the Linders were always people you looked up to for information in the walleye world. I guess once I got a little older, I found myself in my free time doing more and more bass fishing and really fell in love with it. And then Bassmaster stuff on TV, whatever. Obviously, like, man, you have to go with a guy like Kevin Van Dam.
Right.
Seems like a super cool dude. He was an animal.
Yeah.
On the Elite Tour, and he was from up north like I was, so it was kind of a cool deal to see somebody from up north go down south and catch him and have as much success as that guy had. Yeah. And then from there it went to like the Seth Fighters, Austin Felix. There's a lot of guys, Jay Chakurit, a lot of guys I know from Wisconsin, Minnesota that they've went through it. They've made it to the Elite Series and had some success. So, why can't I? So that's how we got here.
We had old Jake Shakurit on last year on the show, and man, he's an incredible guy. He's a good dude. He is.
Yeah.
He can flat out fish. He can.
He's got the gift. I'm good friends with his dad, Jason, and used to fish some walleye tournaments against his dad. That's how I ended up getting to know Jay. And that first year, 21, we fished some of the opens, traveled together, and that's when he made the Elite Series. And
that's awesome.
I'm looking forward to getting to Grand Lake. We'll both be fishing the same derby again. So
that's awesome. That's cool. That is cool. Speaking of walleye fishing, last question, I swear.
Yeah.
The walleye fishing tournament. This is last year, I think. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The weights and fish. Did that affect the tournaments up there at all? And did you actually know any of those dudes? Did you fish with them before or anything?
No, I have no idea who they were. Yeah. Other than just a couple of greasy people that hopefully never get to fish another tournament again. But it's unfortunately that stuff happens in this sport probably way more than any of us know. And it just sucks to see stuff like that when it actually it comes out, and it makes you wonder about things. But yeah, most people are good, and karma comes around to the guys that aren't. So it was
for sure.
it was cool to see him get caught for it.
Yeah, it was a pretty wild video. We woke up last year. We woke up one morning and somebody had sent us the video before it was ever released. Somebody sent it to us. I don't know if they were there because my brother was the one that got it. I don't know if they were there at the tournament, if they were fishing it or what, and they had just followed our page. And they were like, "Hey, we just wanted to share this with you." And man, we couldn't believe it. We was like, "Wow, that's crazy." So
that that was
it's untelling how often it really happens. Like it's especially in local tournaments where it's untelling,
right.
but it's you really can't think about that stuff. You just got to kind of. I know it sucks, it really does. But I guess when you're fishing in a tournament, you if you focus on that, you're ruining the beauty of it all, anyways. So
yeah, just go enjoy it, have fun, do everything the right way, be right to other people that you're fishing around, and good things come around.
Absolutely. Well, Adam, listen, man, we really appreciate you coming on the show tonight. Good luck. This is it this weekend or next weekend?
Starts next Thursday.
Next Thursday. So good luck next Thursday on Santee Cooper. Where you're definitely, and I'll tell you, we tell people this all the time that we have on the show. Last year we had Keith Poche come on. The next week he won in Major League Fishing. Drew Gill came on the show this year. The next week he won on the Tackle Warehouse Invitationals. So I'm hoping the luck wears off.
I like it.
I hope the luck wears off. And I hope you go twice, man. I hope you bust them in Santee Cooper, and then you turn around and you bust them in Oklahoma, man. So again, thanks for joining us, and good luck over the next 2 weeks, man, or month, I guess.
Sounds good. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Absolutely, man. We'll definitely get back up with you, and we'll have you back on the show.
Sounds great. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Adam. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're not going to be on here much longer. I do want to show you all something real quick. Moons Fishing, again, thank you so much for watching tonight. Our viewers have been up and down. We went from like 18 to 4, 18 to 4. It's kind of went back and forth. But I want to say thank you all. If you've been watching WO, all of the comment section, I really appreciate y'all coming on the show and watching. And we're going to have people on every week. I'll go ahead and tell you exactly who we're going to have on over the next several weeks. So, Adam, we had on today. Next week, we're going to have Jackson Perry. We were talking about him tonight. He's from Wisconsin. He fishes the BFLs, and he kind of bounces around to different tournaments. He fishes locals. He fishes some of the Cabela's tournaments. He won a Cabela's tournament last year. Ended up winning a boat. He's a really good fisherman, really good guy to talk to, and really just good to listen because he's co-anglered. He's been a boater. He's kind of done everything, and he's a good dude. He really is. The following week, 14 March, just locked in this week, is if you're a kayak fisherman. I know I'm not good with names, guys. You're going to have to get used to it, and we'll fix it when they get here, and they can tell me how to pronounce it. His name is Jake Kukulis. He won the Bassmaster Kayak Series, the first event this year. I think it was on Hartwell. Let me bring it up real quick because I want to give you the right information. But I reached out to him this week and ended up scheduling with him. So 2 weeks from now, he'll be coming on. He ended up, I think it was the first tournament. Let me see. Kayak Series. I wish I had 2 computer screens. I'm supposed to get 2 here soon. That way I can do this a lot faster. Lake Murray, not Hartwell. Lake Murray, South Carolina. So on the 24th and 25th, they fished a tournament out there, and he ended up winning that tournament. So he's going to come on and give us – I know we always have professional anglers on in these big, nice boats and these big professional tournaments, but we're going to bring a kayak angler on and let him talk to you guys about tournament bass fishing in a kayak. I think that's overlooked a lot. I fish out of a kayak a lot. I'm going this weekend to Kentucky Lake, and I love fishing out of my kayak. It's a lot of fun, even though I'm getting a boat this year, more than likely, but I'm still going to fish out of my kayak. So join us for that one. The week after that, the last guy that I have scheduled is Hayden Marbot, is how I think you pronounce his last name. He won on the Toyota Series, the Central Division. He ended up winning on Lake Gunnersville. He brought in, I think they fished a 3-day tournament. He ended up bringing home the win. Excuse me. He ended up bringing home the win. And a lot of people, they don't realize how stacked these tournaments are. The Toyota Series, I looked, I think there were several guys. I think even Jordan Lee was fishing. Jordan Lee's one of the best to ever do it. He's amazing. He's great. Won the Classic back-to-back times. He's won many events on Major League Bass Pro Tour, and now he's back again with the Elites and had a top 10 finish this previous time on Toledo Bend. And now they're down at Lake Fork. That's one thing I want to talk to you guys about. I'm going to show you right now. Just got to get it pulled up here. Schedule. Takes me a minute because my computer for some reason is running really slow. I'm going to share this screen with you all. Show you what these guys are catching. It's amazing what these dudes are catching. Actually, I think I can go ahead and share the screen with you. Wrong one. So let's remove this one. Sorry, guys. I'm about to get it pulled up. I swear. Don't leave me. Stay here. I'm pulling it up right now. You want to see this, I promise. And then I got one more thing to show you before we get off tonight. And it has to do with Omnia Fishing. I'm going to try to get on it if it'll let me. So this is this Bass Track? This is Bass Track. So today, the Elite Series, they just finished up on Toledo Bend. And make sure it's showing you guys. Yep, there it is. So they just finished up on Toledo Bend. This is Bass Track from today. I looked at 9:45 this morning. Right here, Taku Ito. At 9:46, right here you can see it, 9:46, he had caught his fourth fish that weighed 10 pounds, 5 ounces, which is a monster. And he already had a 30-pound bag with 4 fish. 4 fish over 30 pounds. And I'm like, dude, this dude could end up with like 40 pounds, and he nearly did it. He had 38 pounds, 11 ounces, I think that says. It's really hard for me to see, but it was insane to see him with 30-plus pounds with 4 fish. And then I kept watching as the day went on, and it's just, yeah, see right there, unreal. I can't see what your name is right there. I have no idea, but you are 100% correct. Over 39 pounds is unreal. I don't know what that average is. It's almost 8 pounds of fish. Almost 8 pounds of fish. That is insane, which obviously he had the 10-pound kicker. But look at that, 10.5, 8.6, 6.3, 7.12, 6.1. That is incredible. And I mean, honestly, it's not just obviously he had the best days in first place, but Stetson Blaylock, 37 pounds, 6 ounces at 6'10", 8'6", 9'10", 5'6", and 7'6". Unreal. There were several 10-pounders caught today. I mean, it's this guy I want to give a shout out to as well. So this is Trey McKinney. This is his first year on the Elite Series. He fished the Opens last year, and he was great last year in the Opens. He was terrific. I need to reach out to him and try to get him onto the show, because he's just seems like a very good guy and really knows how to fish. So he caught every fish over 5 pounds, 5'13", 5'11", 6'13", 8'2", and 7'4". So good for him, man. It's honestly, it's been an incredible day down in Lake Fork. I can't wait to see what the weights are tomorrow. I mean, it's only going to keep getting bigger and bigger. So it's unreal. It really is. The last thing I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to try to get it pulled up if I can. I'm telling you, what I'm about to show you is pretty awesome. I don't know if I can do it on the computer or not. I've been doing it on my phone. Omnia Fishing. If you're not familiar with Omnia Fishing is an app you can get on your phone. You can get on the website. You can do multiple things. And they have, I think it's called Omnia Pro is what I think it's called. We are working with them now. And you can use the code EOM. Let me see if I can get it pulled up here. So code. I'll put it down at the bottom of the screen for you all to see. So save that. Let's see if I can show it. Yeah, so if you use EOM 15, EOM stands for Eastern Outdoors Media. You can get 15% off your order. I'm not going to harp on that or anything. I'm just letting you know, if you want to order some bait, I literally am about to order $600 worth of tackle. I'm going to use that code because it's 15% off $600. So get on there if you want to order some stuff. The great thing about Omnia is not only do you get on there and order bait or whatever, but you can look at specific lakes at specific times of the year, and people do reports. So they'll do reports on where they're fishing, like the depth they're fishing, so it's like what lake they're fishing, where they're fishing, what bait they're using, the depth. It literally shows everything. It shows everything. And then what I thought was cool, and I've been using it on my phone, so bear with me. I'm trying to do this on my computer. This is my first time, so I want to share it with you all now. And this is, like I said, it's on the app. It's really cool. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. I'm also trying to. There we go. Let me get it pulled up for you guys so you can look at it. It's really, really cool. Share screen right there. Okay, so in the app, so if you use Navionics, this is really good for people that have like a basic fish finder like I do. I have a Garmin Striker 4 on my kayak. It's nothing fancy. It's just your regular sonar. Will show you bait balls, stuff like that. Really good for crappie fishing is what I use it for more than anything, and finding baits of bait balls is what I like to use it for. So it also gives you the depth, the water temp, stuff like that. But this here, you can see this is on the app. So this is like the Navionics web app that you can use on your phone, and it can kind of give you the layout. And I'll try to zoom in on a lake here if it'll let me and show you kind of the layout. So, and I use Navionics web apps a lot. It's not those lakes. Let me go a little north here. I swear when I get another computer screen, there we go. There it is. So this lake here, so I've fished here before. This is Lake Bashir out in western Kentucky. I fish it quite a bit. Actually, let's even go over even a little more west. We'll go to Lake Barkley. So if you go to here's Lake Barkley here. And this is Kentucky Lake over there. I don't know if you can see me moving the mouse or not on the screen. But if you zoom in, I know you can see me zoom in. Once you zoom in, it might take it a minute to load. But it's actually going to show you like the topography of the lake. And it gives you the options. So you can click like, features. You can do water pins. You can do boat landings. So if I hit boat landings like that, and then I zoom out, it shows me every boat landing on Lake Barkley and Kentucky Lake, every single one of them, which I think is really, really cool. Because Kentucky Lake and Lake Barkley, where I fish in a kayak, it'll literally show you any boat landing that there is. And it might take it a minute to load. I know it did on my phone with the topography and everything. It might be locked. Why it would be, but yeah, I highly recommend going and checking it out. Oh, okay, it says right there. So Omnia app, it's only available. So if you go to the app, you download it, you get the Omnia Pro. I'll get the exact name for you, but if you get it, you can get on there and you can look exactly like at the topography where the boats where the put-ins are, where you can go to like a boat launch or something you can put in. And then you can also, like I said, you can look at the lakes. You can see what baits people are using at what time of year, what depth they're fishing at, whether they're fishing around cover, whether it's grass, wooded structure, anything like that. But I highly recommend go check it out. I promise you, you will love it. It is literally the best app I've had in a while. I'm going to utilize it a lot because when I go fishing, I'll use Navionics web app a lot on my phone so I can kind of get the depth and figure out exactly where I'm going to go. Because most of the time I know if they're going to be like in 10 feet, 20 feet, if they've moved offshore or if they've moved up shallow. I just go. I just go when I go fish because I know I'm going to catch them. So, but go check it out. Omnia.com, EOM15. Use that. It might be OmniaFishing.com. I don't want to tell you wrong. Yeah, OmniaFishing.com. So let me fix that real quick before I get off here. Bangers. Let's hide it. There we go. So OmniaFishing.com. Go check it out. EOM15. That's going to give you 15% off your order. It's gonna save you some money because it's almost fishing season. Everybody, it's almost fishing season. So really, it is fishing season because I'm going literally Saturday. So I'm ready to rock and roll. Buddy of mine caught 30 fish at a certain lake. I won't say on Western Kentucky because he might get upset with me, but he caught like 30 fish. So, but hey guys, I really appreciate you joining. I've had like 5 loyal followers or watchers tonight, so I really appreciate you watching. We're gonna keep doing this. It's gonna keep getting better. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to have more anglers on. John's going to be with me next week. He says he's going to be with me next week. So it will be easier when I've got another person so I can share. I can bring stuff up on the screen for you all to look at and things like that. It'll make life a much easier. It'll be smoother. It'll be better. And we're going to keep doing it. And also let us know. Send me a personal message. You can message Bass Fishing Live, message John. You can message Eastern Outdoors Media. Let us know who you want to see on because I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep scheduling it. I'm going to keep having anglers on because we like to get their views of what's going on in the fishing world. So just really appreciate everybody for watching. Great show tonight. Nate from Paintsville, thank you so much for watching that. I hope you become a regular. And maybe, one day we can get you on the show and just talk fishing, man. And just thanks for watching tonight, guys. We'll be back next Thursday with Jackson Perry from La Crosse, Wisconsin. He fishes the series up there, the BFLs, and a couple other tournaments out of La Crosse, mainly the Mississippi River. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next Thursday.